Hello and welcome to the Moonshine Moonshot podcast.
Hello.
We're here to talk about what the seemingly impossible and how to make it possible. We're going to be talking about impact. We're going to be talking about how to move humanity forward and what all of this means. I'm Sue Collins and this is Mike Hill.
Hello, and we're here to talk about the future. Ooh, sounds like there's a problem with the future, Sue.
Yeah, it sounds like the DeLorean's a bit unwell today.
Yeah, it can do that. So why on earth would we want to tell why would we want to make a whole series about the future, things that haven't happened yet? Is it part of Moonshot and this idea?
Yeah, well, I think it is. I mean, our company, Moonshine Agency, for those of you who don't know us, we've been producing impact films for around 10 years now. So just recently had our 10th birthday. And we, over the last couple of years, have been collecting some pretty fascinating interviews with futurists. And one of the reasons for that, apart from Mike's enormous passion for sci-fi and futurism, is part of our company mission is to move humanity forward.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess, in the course of doing our jobs, which are focused around making impact films, we do get this opportunity to interview, it's literally hundreds of people who are often thought leaders, prominent people in the world. And there's this kind of common thread that comes up. They have these amazing visions for the future and how to change things for the better. They know what the problems are. They know what the solutions are, but they're stopped by, bad leadership, governments that are, not making enough of a change. So we've, created this series as a response to that idea, all the short-term thinking that we're seeing in politics these days. Let's try and get back to some more long-term visions of the future, big picture moonshots that can actually be game changers for us, for humanity, for the climate, for the world at large. And really a lot of the inspiration for this comes from Arthur C. Clarke.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to come back to Arthur C. Clarke, but I think one of the other big motivators for us to really do this series was that, it's so hard watching the news. It's so short-sighted. It's so negative. It's, you watch 10 minutes of news and you feel like the whole world's going to end. But then you go and spend an hour with a futurist and you think, the world is our oyster. There is so much opportunity. There is just so much potential for what we can do and who we can be as humans on this planet. And so we've got to shift the gear on that.
I totally agree with you on the news. Between the news and social media, depending on what you're looking at, it does your head in. This has got to be, we've got these skyrocketing rates of shit mental health. It's got to be partly to do with consuming all this bad news all the time. I just feel like I'm in a state of, anxiety and trauma sometimes from watching this stuff. And it's just at you now 24/7. You can't get away from it. So totally agree. This is a response to that. This is a good news story about, and not everyone we've interviewed, has a utopian view of the future or anything, but they are focused on problems and solutions and thinking about how do we get there over time? How do we make a better tomorrow? And that recharges my batteries.
Yeah, and no, DeLorean's still sick. So I think I lost my train of thought now. But I was going to just reflect on, even though some of the futurists we've spoken to have had a more dystopian view of the future, they all have a common thread in that they all believe that humanity can do it. Whether we choose to do it or not is another question. But the belief that we as humans can achieve extraordinary things is consistent. I've not heard any of them, and we've interviewed dozens now. I've not heard any of them say we're doomed. Watch the news. That's the reality.
So how about Arthur C. Clarke?
Yeah, sorry, coming back to your favourite author there, Arthur C. Clarke. Tell me. Tell the audience why Arthur C. Clarke.
Oh, Arthur. I mean, what a legend. This is a guy who, successfully predicted so many things, including the communication satellite and dozens of other things that have changed our lives in terms of just thinking about where are we today and where might that lead us in the future. As he says, sort of taking that step, just beyond what's possible to look at the impossible and be inspired by that. What's impossible that we could aspire to? So part of, the inspiration for this series, Futurists World, is Arthur C. Clarke's book, Profiles of the Future. And this is a book that sort of, is a non-fiction book, I suppose. It's not like some of his famous stories like 2001. This, is a book that, very specifically makes predictions about the future. Now, we're not all about making predictions in our series, but we are about being thoughtful about different profiles of the future, what might come, and using that as inspiration in our everyday lives.
Yeah, which is a great source of inspiration. And so I guess might be helpful if we tell everyone a bit about the topics we've been exploring.
Yeah, and the types of people we've been talking to.
Yep.
I mean, so I might throw back to you on that. It's quite a diverse group, isn't it?
Oh, it's been a very broad group. So we've spoken with people like Jaime Cascio in the US. He's based in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, the Institute of the Future in Silicon Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke to Jack Delosa, who's his topic was the future of education, and he's an Australian entrepreneur who's running a pretty extraordinary school for entrepreneurs these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Inspirational young entrepreneur legend.
We also caught up with a young woman, Ashla Rani, who is based in Kerala in India. She had a terrible accident, I think it was about 7 or 8 years ago now, and found herself being paraplegic and unable to... India is a very challenging place for somebody who's in a wheelchair.
So that's the future of being differently abled. And I mean, she is like changing the world. Like, she's amazing.
Doing incredibly incredible things. She's recently gotten a ramp put in at their local council offices so she can go and lobby the council.
She's doing it.
She's doing it. So who else have we spoken to? We spoke with...
been pretty far
flung, in Geneva. We spoke to James Beesham, who is
particle physicist at CERN, on the future of time. Hey, maybe you can try now.
Oh, I'll try the DeLorean. Oh,
no, not yet.
A bit sad, not yet.
Yeah, so I mean, that was awesome, and we got to go to CERN and the Large Hadron Collider. Wow, what a mind-blowing experience that was. I mean, we've been to places like Zurich and talked to really leading, renowned futurists like Gerd Leonhard.
Yeah, that was a really fun experience.
Yeah, humanity versus technology. Where are we going to go?
Yeah, there's been quite a bit of talk about AI changing the future,
Including with some great female futurists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nargis Hillel.
Yes,
yeah.
And Arathi.
Arathi Krishnan. Yeah, yes. Oh, that was amazing. The future of humanitarianism.
So it's going to be a really exciting series, and we're really looking forward to releasing that in early 2020.
Yeah, it's a new series for the new decade, and it's all about the future. I think the 2020s are going to be absolutely critical to the future of humanity. What do you think?
Oh, I think so, and I mean, it fills me with a lot of hope speaking with these, this variety of people that. There's a lot in the media at the moment about AI stealing all our jobs, and no one's got job security anymore. But when you actually speak to people who are really knowledgeable about, and they're really assessing what that means, they're super positive. They're, like if you're doing a very functional day-to-day thing that a robot can do, yeah, okay, that job might go. But that actually frees people up to do far more interesting, more creative work, much more, engaged work that's probably way more fulfilling. So
we're not here to be trained monkeys, right? Like, there's got to be more to it than that.
That's right. So I think it's going to be a fascinating experience for people to hear a lot about what these people have got to say.
Yeah, so tune in. You're going to be really inspired. These are like some of the great thought leaders, and it's a really fun series. It's at times, pretty lightweight, but upbeat, with some deep thinking in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the takeaways from today's episode are that, you know, the future's not all doom and gloom. There is definite possibilities for some pretty extraordinary things.
For sure. If you need an antidote to all that stuff that's coming at you through the news and social media, if you want some good news, you know, hook into this series. You're going to love it.
Yeah. So as impact storytellers, this is a pretty different one for us. This is a different format, different way of doing it. So we're really interested to see what sort of impact it does have.
So how do people find this series?
We'll put it all in the show notes, but the website's going to be Futurists.world once it's launched. And we would encourage you all to come and find us on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast.
Subscribe to YouTube channel as well.
Yeah. That's the best way to get notification as soon as the episodes are being released.
Let's try and do this thing together.
Okay.
It's off!
We're moving through time.
See you next time.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.